constitutionalism. That is the person who has replaced SIFUNA. Even reading a statement itself is a problem. Why would people subject Raila's party to this? Why would they sink this law? Even if you have to replace SIFUNA, can't you do it with somebody who can even read a statement? Constitutionalism. I have nothing against her. I don't even know her. But obviously, from where I stand, she can't fit in SIFUNA's shoes. And the party finally, therefore, decides that SIFUNA must leave. And the party removes SIFUNA as the Secretary General. On the face of it, there's nothing wrong. It's normal. But when I look at the men and the women, as that statement is being read, they look like they are beside a grave, and a loved one is being lowered into the grave. These men and women looked exactly like that, Oburu Odinga and the others, Gladys Wanga, when the remains of my friend Raila Odinga were being lowered inside the grave. Today, even with a handkerchief, Oburu is there, grief-stricken, gloom all over their faces, sad, as they lower Raila's party inside the grave. And with that, they end Raila's legacy. Just like that. Just like that. It looks very simple. Looks very simple. They looked sad, grief-stricken, very grieving, sad faces when Raila's body was being lowered into the grave. And today, the same sad faces, gloom all over, as they lower Raila's party into the grave. I want to tell these ladies and gentlemen, when we were young, I think class 7, Form 1, Form 2, most notably Form 2, we used to read cheap thriller stories. Nick Carter, somebody Mason, I can't remember somebody Mason, Perry Mason, James Hadley Chase. I think that's nostalgia to some people of my age. There was always something recurring in many of these stories. Those who read James Hadley Chase will remember this. Whenever there was a criminal enterprise that involved high-level crime, such as a bank robbery, such as murder, something nearly always followed, nearly always. Among the people engaged in the robbery, the crime, high-level crime, a good number will be killed thereafter, if not all of them. And the hitman, nearly always in all those stories, the money used to kill was always killed. Those of us who read those stories, you remember that. In order to cover their tracks and protect themselves, those who send you to kill, to commit crime, will always finish you. It is said in this country, I don't hear much of it these days, it used to be very common, that whenever you see police killing criminals, shooting them instead of arresting them, it is because the police are part and parcel of that crime. Not all the police, a few rogue police. And they fear if these people are arrested, they will even reveal who gave them the guns. And the guns maybe have come from the police. Those in police force know what I'm talking about, and even general Kenyans. I have witnessed, to my horror, police shooting some criminals. Down, they are down and they are shooting them. It happened in Langata, I saw it, where I used to live and do some small business. To cover your tracks, you eliminate those who prosecuted the crime, those who committed the crime. What am I trying to say? To my fellow citizens engaged in the murder of ODM, to those so-called leaders who have participated in the murder and in the killing of ODM, the party of Raila Odinga, your time is coming. And don't wait for anything different. Those who sent you to kill ODM will kill you. As sure as night comes after day, as sure as darkness follows day and light, I am telling you, those who sent you to kill ODM and with it Raila's legacy, those who sent you to murder ODM will come for you. Because, and that's how it works. That is how it works. You cannot convince any reasonable Kenyan. You cannot convince any reasonable Kenyan, including the unreasonable, that this action of removing SIFUNA from ODM, kicking out Caleb Amisi, and I hear in the pipeline there is Osozi Orengo and Babu Wino. You cannot convince any Kenyan that this was a decision made by the party organ. That this was a decision that was, one, necessary to move forward the party, a decision made by the leadership of the party consciously, deliberately, with good reasons and for good reasons in the interest of the party. You cannot convince anybody. You cannot convince anybody. The only conclusion left, you are doing somebody's bidding. Somebody is pushing you. That's why you even went to hide in Mombasa. Because you are afraid of what you are doing. You are ashamed of, you are afraid, and you are ashamed of what you are doing. When I was a young boy, a young child, my parents, especially my father, told me this. Mzee Moja, God rest Mzee Moja's soul in eternal peace. Mzee Moja, my dad, told me, if you are doing something you are ashamed of, don't do it. And the test is simple. Can you do it in public? If that thing is something you can't do, where you should where others are seeing, then just know it's a bad thing. If you must hide, then you are doing a wrong thing. If ODM must rush to Mombasa, I'm not saying Mombasa is not Kenya, then you know they know what they are doing is wrong. And they can only be doing it because somebody has pushed them to do it. How do you know you are becoming an alcoholic? When you begin to hide drink, your chrome, your vodka, somewhere you don't want people to see you are carrying alcohol, you know you are becoming alcoholic. Don't wait for somebody to tell you. When you run away from people, hide from people, na unatoa kachupa yako kwa koti, unarudisha, you are becoming alcoholic. Don't wait for anybody to tell you. Don't wait for a rehab. You are already on the path of being an alcoholic the moment you begin hiding alcohol from people. The moment you you leave to hide somewhere to sip your vodka, please know you are on the path of alcoholism. Don't wait for a counselor to tell you that. When as a party you must go into hiding. When as a party I want Oburu, Odinga and the others to play the clip as Catherine or Manyora, or whatever she's called, is reading that statement. Play the clip. It is your clip. It is your press conference. And you are running away. My friend Junet is hard saying, Leo hakuna maswali. No. Again. Why? Because they know they can't face the press. They can't answer a single question. Because they will be asked many questions. Play that clip, and what unfolds, you begin at looking at yourself and ask yourself, oh God, did I have to push myself to be this sorrowful? Did I have to paint my face with grief just to please another individual? You killed ODM. What you do with the corpse is your problem. It pains me that people so close to Raila can do this to him. It really pains me. It's painful. SIFUNA was interviewed by Yvonne Okwara. And she said many things, but me, I only left with one. SIFUNA said, when you saw me kwa hiyo ndege on that plane, looking very soulful, very pained, and surely we all saw SIFUNA was overcome by emotions. He said, not what you think. He said he was in great pains because the people surrounding Raila and going to pick his body, and even later in his funeral, were not Raila's friends. He looked around, he didn't see Raila's friends. By friends, he meant those to whom Raila meant everything. He looked around. Perhaps he was the only one who felt the pain of losing Raila Odinga. And that's what killed him. That's what made him feel that bad. SIFUNA was broken. None of these guys doing what they have done felt half of the pain SIFUNA felt. Today they have come out to prove SIFUNA right. That those surrounding the funeral of Raila were not people who loved Raila. They were not his friends. But there you are. I bet, as I end, you'll soon find yourself in the position Judas Iscariot found himself after betraying Jesus. He looked at the money he'd been given, 30 pieces of silver, na akatupa chini, full of regret. That money was used by the elders to buy a cemetery, mahali wanazika watu. Siku yenyu itafika.